It's 8 p.m. You woke up today promising you'd eat a salad for dinner and finally read that book on your nightstand. Instead, you are slumped on the couch, ordering takeout and scrolling through your phone. For decades, culture has framed moments like this as a character flaw. We were often told that failing to stick to a plan reveals a lack of discipline, grit, or moral strength. Recent neuroscience suggests a different explanation. This nightly collapse isn't a lack of character. It's a documented biological condition called decision fatigue. Relying on raw desire to power your day is biologically risky. Research defines willpower as a strict physical constraint, hardware that depends on the metabolic energy currently available to your brain. Behind your forehead sits the prefrontal cortex. This region serves as the brain's executive center, managing logic, focus, and rational planning. This same hardware is also responsible for impulse control. Every time you resist a craving or stay focused on a difficult task, the prefrontal cortex is doing the work. Here is the core biological tension. Both complex decision-making and impulse control pull from the exact same finite pool of energy. Every time you make a choice, you deplete the physical resources your brain requires to resist temptation later in the day. Modern life forces us into thousands of trivial micro-decisions before noon. We swipe away notifications, choose outfits, and navigate a constant stream of digital interruptions. This volume of data creates cognitive load. Think of it as information filling your container until your working memory reaches its limit. As you process this load, your cognitive energy leaks out. This physical draining is known as ego depletion. When those resources drop too low, you enter decision fatigue. In this state, the prefrontal cortex can no longer maintain the quality of your choices. By the time the sun goes down, these thousands of micro-decisions have exhausted your mental hardware, making rational, long-term planning physically impossible. When cognitive energy bottoms out, the brain activates a survival mechanism, the law of least effort. To conserve power, the exhausted prefrontal cortex hands control over to the brain's older, automatic regions. Our ancestors lived in an immediate return environment, where grabbing quick payoffs was a smart survival strategy. Modern life requires the opposite, delayed returns, but our biology defaults to the path of least resistance. Under fatigue, the brain abandons rational planning. It defaults to deeply encoded habits and heuristics because they require almost zero energy to execute. This shift gives immense weight to decisive moments. These are the tiny, often habitual choices that dictate the options available to your future self. This map shows how a single decision acts as a fork in the road, shaping hours of subsequent behavior. As branches diverge, the bad choice path physically blocks access to good day outcomes. Late-day failures are the mathematical result of choices you've already constrained. Willpower evaporates because the brain intentionally shuts off resistance to save power. Fighting fatigue with grit is a battle against your own evolution. Managing a finite resource like willpower requires a shift in strategy. Effective self-control involves removing the daily burden of choice rather than exerting internal pressure. When researchers analyze highly disciplined CEOs, surgeons, and military leaders, they find a consistent pattern. These individuals actually use their willpower the least. They achieve success by designing environments where the productive choice is the default. They structure their world so that doing the right thing requires the least amount of effort. They frequently employ commitment devices. These are choices made in the present that physically lock in better behavior for the future, making bad habits nearly impossible to execute. A moment of wonder. The author Victor Hugo understood this. Facing a massive writing deadline, he had his assistant lock all of his clothes in a chest. By eliminating the choice to go outside, he forced his future self to stay at his desk and write. True discipline is about front-loading your decisions. You organize your day so that your fatigued self has no bad options to choose from. You can start by making bad habits invisible. Remove cues from your environment entirely. If you scroll mindlessly at night, use outlet timers to cut the power to your router automatically at 8 p.m. Next, hand routine decisions over to technology. Automate your financial savings and recurring tasks so the choice is made once and executed forever. Finally, simplify your routines by preloading choices. Meal prepping or choosing your clothes the night before preserves a drop of prefrontal cortex energy for the moments that truly matter. These strategies work because they manipulate friction. They make bad habits difficult to start and good habits impossible to avoid. Reaching your goals depends on the architecture of your surroundings. A smarter environment makes progress the path of least resistance.